Hello, my creative friends, and welcome to the personal vlog entry for the daily prompt. This is number 2. If you didn't join me last week was the first one where I sort of... This personal vlog entry isn't so much about, I guess, teaching you the things that I'm trying to teach you or giving you the daily prompt. This is sort of a half prompt day where if you want to take action every day, you can watch this and I'll sort of give you a mini prompt at the end. But if you don't want to, you can skip today. If you're binging at some point in the future, and there are literally hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and months and years of content, and you feel like you need to watch all of it at some point, you can skip these. It's okay. Maybe, you know, watch them at some point. You can also, keep in mind, you can also go through and watch my videos at double speed. If you're binging at some point, just know that you're not going to absorb it as well. But if you're binging, you're not absorbing it all that well anyway. But just having the ideas, maybe one idea will get through. The further I go, the less I think that the no binging thing is probably not realistic for people. But I did want to say that... Now here, week 2, I'm learning a lot as we go along. One is that I'm learning that I really hate this cough. It's really annoying me. Not even so much just the cough, just the fact that I have to go through and, or that I'm obsessed and feel the need to go through and like dip the audio each time, so that I don't annoy you guys listening to me cough constantly. You know, it would happen right at the beginning of something like this. I can't wait till it's gone. I've had this once or twice before, and it does go away, but sometimes it lingers for a while. So anyway, as you can see, I don't know if you've noticed, but the picture's changed a little bit. I'm using a different camera now, so trying to sort of up the game a little bit, taking it away from the 30 frames a second thing to going into sort of 24 frames a second, so that it has hopefully a more sort of cinematic look, because we want to make movies. Let's start with this. But I don't think I have the color profile quite right. I might be experimenting with that. I think a couple episodes ago was like super orangey. It's because I had it set for tungsten lighting or outdoor lighting. I don't know. Anyway, it's those kinds of things that I'm sort of working out at this point. One of the things I'm learning along the way is it's actually really hard to batch these things. So next week, for example, I have a visitor coming into town, and I'm going to need to take a couple of days off. So I'm going to have to record a bunch of these ahead of time, and so that they can continue to go each day, because I don't want to miss a day, basically. But I've found that I'm getting so much out of the comments and interacting with people on the comments that it really... It's shaping the journey a lot more than I kind of anticipated that it would. I really, you know, it's like anything. I think when you start down, when you start to reach out when you start to take that journey down towards your goal, you start with your own idea in mind, and so you start thinking you're going to be driving it, and you are really, because it's your own action that drives it. But once it meets with the real world, there's just so many things that come into play that I'm still driving it, obviously, but I like to take in the feedback that I'm getting and let that change the shape of it. So it's weird, because I have this urge to create a bunch of stuff and like put it in the can so that I can free up my days to do other things, particularly number 1 being building the social media channels at this point. The problem is that I feel a little disconnected when I'm not sort of doing it each day, because I feel like I'm not connected with the comments. Even if I just do 2 or 3 episodes at a time, by the time I'm on the second, or even definitely the third, but even the second, a lot of times episode, it's like I feel like I'm disconnected from the community, and the community at this point is tiny. I mean, I thank you guys who are here. It's probably a dozen or so people, 15 people maybe tops, that are actively engaged at this point. Our view numbers are super low because I haven't done any haven't put any of this stuff on the social channels yet. I know that I believe that if people watch this in the future and they sort of watch me go through this journey, They're going to be like, I can't believe there was a time when there were only 200 views on this. That's the way and look, maybe I'm delusional, but that's the way I imagine it's going to go, because as this starts to scale, as we start to make films, as we start to get out into the world, and, these episodes get a little more visually interesting than just this. I think it's going to be, I think the people who are watching this as it's rolling out in real time are going to look back, if they haven't been involved or participating or whatever. There's obviously a lot of relative to the number of comments, there's a lot of views. Relative to other YouTube channels, there's no views, but still, everything's relative. So there's a lot of people, a healthy number of people watching that are not actually contributing, writing comments, even clicking the like button, whatever. And so I feel like once it all starts to snowball, those people are going to wish they had participated more. It's that thing that I was talking about a couple of episodes in the See the Invisible Opportunities episode, which is, that window happens for a short period of time. As soon as I put out the See the Invisible Opportunities, even as I was recording it, I was thinking, I'm going to get inundated with people asking me if they can, be an actor in my movie or something. And it's fair enough, which, I'm putting it out there to do that. Who knows? Maybe we can align two people in the comments section. Maybe there's an aspiring filmmaker in the comments section who connects with an aspiring actor in the comments section, and they go off and make a movie and it becomes super successful, whatever. That'd be great. And that's kind of, I guess on a macro level, that's kind of the big vision for all this, for this aspect of all this. So anyway, I found that super exciting. I'm frustrated by that things are still taking as long as they're taking for each of the episodes. I think I've worked out the workflow, but I still, in order to get decent audio, I'm having to record this separately to the picture and then sync them up after. Not a big deal, but just takes a little extra time. And of course, since moving to this camera, I've bumped up to full high definition, which bigger files take longer to process and render and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, just little stuff like that. That's interesting. On the development front, so the way this is probably going to roll out is, the first, I'm still guessing it's going to be 2 to 3 months of me talking to you, talking on camera like this with this backdrop. I'm figuring it's going to take about that long for us to develop something that we can start going out and shoot. There's a bunch of projects being developed in the writer's room, but it's very slow going. I like to imagine that it's going to happen faster than it is. But these things take time, and I don't want to rush something. The first movie that I make is probably going to be a movie that I write, simply because I'll be able to sort of get to it faster. But with the caveat that it might suck, because I have not spent the past 20 years writing. I have spent the past 20 years teaching people how to write, and they're two different skill sets. Teaching someone how to do something and doing the thing are different skills. So there's that old adage of those who can't do, teach. And I think that's a bunch of bullshit, frankly. Sorry if you're offended by that language, but that's how I feel about it, is at the end of the day, they're two different skills. Some of the greatest writers I know wouldn't have a clue about how to help you become a writer. And so what, all the rest of the people aren't allowed to write then? No, I think you need people who can help those people become writers. And so I take my hat off to even screenwriting teachers who perceive themselves to be competitive with what I'm doing. If you're watching, I don't see us as competitive. I see us as complementary. So I don't have if I badmouth the formulaic approaches and all that stuff, that's not me badmouthing them. That's just me trying to frame it in the larger context. At the end of the day, the teachers and people who do that kind of stuff are if they're good at what they do, there's the big problem is, good 85% of people that are teaching this stuff are just teaching the wrong stuff entirely. But those that are teaching good stuff are teaching good stuff. And so Anyway, that's a skill. Whoa, I got way off on a tangent on that. Good thing this is just me watching, right? So anyway, so for the week ahead, I'm going to be sort of batch creating these episodes. I'm probably going to create Monday's episode today so that it will be ready for release on Monday. And then on Monday or Tuesday, I'll probably record the rest of the other 7 or 8 of them or something. So it'll be really interesting, I think, to see how that feels. I still am super engaged in the comments. I'm kind of sad about the day when this scales up and I'm not able to do that, because I can see, like, right now, you know, you're in the early stages of building something. It's exciting and it's scary, and, you know, I'm worried that I'm going to fall on my ass, just like you're worried that you're going to fall on your ass writing your screenplay. But it's exciting. I know that I'm going to build this thing, so it's just interesting to see how it's going to play out. I'm a little worried about the time when it scales up to such a point where I'm not able to engage and interact that much, because I'm quickly finding that I'm getting a lot more out of that than I thought I would. Ideas spark ideas. This is my general premise that I've discovered through teaching screenwriting, which I talked about in the TED Talk and all that. The ideas spark ideas. So because of that, when I put ideas out there, if I just keep putting ideas out there, that's all well and good. But if I put ideas out there and you give ideas back, that's going to spark new ideas for me. And so, you know, when I first set out on this journey, I thought this is probably, it'll take me a good 5 to 10 years to convey everything that I would want to convey right now. I really do think it would be indefinite, because I think if it's sustainable, if there's an interest in it, and if, you know, I'm interested in continuing to do it, I can see how this could be quite sustainable. I told a good friend of mine recently, this past week, that I started this daily vlog, making these, you know, 10 to 20 minute videos of sort of inspire writers and stuff. And he said, wow, daily, that's a lot. I thought, yeah, it feels like a lot, but I feel like there's no end in sight for how much stuff that I can convey. So, and I can see how through interactions and through working with writers along the way, I can see how that just will expand. I don't think the well will ever dry up. I just can't imagine it. I can't imagine how the well could ever dry up. So anyway, that's interesting. Anyway, so I think this daily prompt is this personal vlog entry is maybe a little bit more rambly than the last one. Hopefully you still get value out of this if you're actually watching it. If they get progressively rambling, at some point you're gonna be like, I might skip the personal blog entries. But anyway, so this week what I'm hoping to do is batch create a bunch of the sort of reverse engineer episodes, and then hopefully spend the rest of the week focusing on getting the Instagram account started and getting the Twitter built up a little bit, and maybe trying to write something for LinkedIn, try to create some stuff for Facebook. I'm actually less and less knowing how to do Facebook, like what will be good for Facebook native. Right now I'm just sort of putting these episodes on Facebook as well. And I think I can do more. I think I can build up Facebook a little bit better. Anyway, so if anybody's watching and they have any interest in helping me with the social media stuff, then that's where the window is right now. But other than that, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it when I go off on my little sort of rambling spiel here. I do appreciate you coming along for the ride, and I appreciate you coming along for the ride of the prompt itself as well. I'm getting the sense from seeing a couple new people commenting that there are a fair few lurkers who are watching. Maybe, I don't know, if you're watching and you're not commenting, since nobody watches these personal vlog episodes anyway, how about commenting and saying why you don't comment? Like, what are you afraid of being out in public or being associated with what I'm doing in case it fails, or are you worried about your own, you want something, but you don't feel like you're going to follow through and make it happen, and therefore you don't want to be seen to have not done that. Or like, I'm curious to know why people. I'm curious to know why. I guess the way I imagine this is I'll put out so much good stuff for you guys that you'll like tell everyone you know, and it'll share and it'll grow organically, and so that way, and then we'll get enough people to sort of make the whole thing happen. If that doesn't happen, by the way, don't worry. I've got the actual plan. That'd be like the lottery version of the plan, right? But if you're not sharing it, or if you wouldn't share it, or you don't want to comment, and if you're afraid to post in the comments, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, and let me know there privately. Send me a DM, and because I'm just curious. I'm really genuinely curious to know. I want to know the flaws in what I'm doing as I'm doing this, as I see it. I've always, from the beginning, 20 years ago, this has been a very clear vision in my head, and I've been like, why? A, why hasn't anyone else done it? B, and now I know why no one else has done it, because it's impossible. The impossible is possible, but it's impossible in terms of you need writers to follow through, and writers just don't follow through. So my success is reliant on someone else's actions. So that's how I'm flipping the script now, as I'm no longer waiting for writers to lift their game and join me. I'm instead going to just build it on my own. And then at a certain point, people go, hey, that thing exists. And then they'll, the window will be too late for most people, but for those that recognize it early enough, they'll be able to jump on board. And that doesn't just mean joining me in my system. That means jump on board in some way that helps build and grow the thing. So anyway, I would like to know. So I would like to know if you're not. I would like to know what the hesitation is if you're hesitating. Like what flaw? What am I not seeing? I can see this. I have seen this very clearly for many years. I can continue to see it very clearly as I start to implement. As I start doing these every day. It gets more and more clear with every passing day. Like I see things this week that I didn't see last week. And that's the most exciting thing about it all, is that I believe that next week, week after, I'm going to see more and more and more, and the picture will come into sharper and sharper and clearer focus. That's exciting. It makes you realize you can do anything. You really can. So you just have to take action and start and then follow through. That's it. So anyway, I do want to know if you're not interested, or you're not participating, or you're lurking quietly in the shadows. I would love to hear from you and let me know why. Like what am I missing, or what's missing? Is there anything I can do to help you, to move you out of the shadows and get you actually moving forward on your goal? Let me know. Anyway, once again, my personal vlog entry turned into a, what can I do for you? How can I make this about you? Anyway, so today's daily prompt, simple: take action if you want to, rest if you don't. Tomorrow we start with the reverse engineering of the process itself. So that you can see what I've built and why and how to do it yourself. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So get some rest. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.